Retired Colonel Rich Outzen is a non-resident senior fellow at the Atlantic Council in Turkey and a geopolitical analyst. He is joining us now from Washington, D.C. Rich, good to see you and welcome to the broadcast.
Thanks, Eric. Good to be with you.
Ukraine's slow progress comes as a surprise to many, like I mentioned there. What could be the biggest factor that may have led to this delayed counteroffensive?
Well, there's a couple of things. First of all, people tend to conflate different types of military operations. So we understand that technology is fast. We have drones, we have video and live processing from computers. So certain types of things like an airstrike or a counterterrorism drone strike can be done very quickly, like a video game. But the most complicated form of warfare is combined arms warfare with a land component. So combined arms meaning you've got infantry, artillery, engineers, you've got air, you've got, in some cases, naval combined forces focused on a single area. Now, when the defender in combined arms warfare has had a chance to prepare, so they have obstacles, they have had engineers digging trenches and putting in mines, they've covered these obstacles with their own rocket and artillery fires, it's very difficult to break through. It's not impossible, but it takes time. In the United States, we practice this at a place called Fort Irwin, the National Training Center, every month so that our major forces, the armored and mechanized forces, can learn how to do this. It's not easy to do even for the world's most powerful military. So the fact that it's moving forward shows that it's doing what it's supposed to do. But expectations were high, both because people aren't familiar with combined arms warfare. We haven't done much of it since the end of the Cold War. And also because people thought maybe the political unrest in Russia presaged a loss of will to fight. And if that were the case, then maybe the forces would simply melt away. We're not seeing that. So Russia remains in the fight. And this particular type of fight is a long, difficult slog. I would definitely say we should not infer that it's not meeting success, just that this is a process that it goes meter by meter, and it's not going to be over quickly.
Rich, how would you gauge the progress of the war in Ukraine this far, having in mind the recent developments, including the botched rebellion in Russia?
Well, it's war is innately a contest of wills, right? And so there is really only one measure at the end. You can count bodies, how many people are dead. You can count destroyed equipment. You can count how long it lasts. These are all measures, but they're not great measures. As the United States learned in Vietnam and Russia, the Soviet Union learned in Afghanistan, you can have all those numbers working in your favor. You can kill more of the enemy. You can destroy more of his, all of those things. But at the end, there's only one measure that counts, and that is loss of will and belief on the part of one of the warring factions or parties in their ultimate commitment to victory. So what we've seen is Ukraine, in my view, this is the only measure that matters so far in this war. Russia thought that Ukraine would buckle under the weight of a massive sustained war and that the West would not support them. Now, I see more evidence that the Russians are understanding they're not going to win and that their commitment is in question. I think Prigozhin's little mini uprising is a sign of that. We're seeing some political stress. So I would measure this so far as a bloody stalemate at the tactical level, but strategically, increasingly, progress for the Ukrainian side. And I think Ukrainian victory is more probable now than if we had asked this question a year ago.
Retired Colonel Rich Outzen, thank you very much for all your insights and for talking to WION World is One today.
Thank you, Eric.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.